This week on the High Ground Podcast, I invite some of my favorite Star Wars podcasters that I've met while doing this, and we talk a little about the process, then we'll get into some interesting Star Wars pitches. So I'm excited. If you've been thinking about doing content creation yourself, stick around right here on the High Ground Podcast. Hello. Hello and welcome to the High Ground Podcast. Thank you everyone for coming on. I'm really excited because I have a bunch of awesome guests who I have had the pleasure of being on their shows. And we're going to talk about it because I've had a lot of people ask about, the High Ground Podcast and like they want to get into start making content and all this stuff. And like Ben is already like a skilled podcast host and stuff, and like, yeah, you guys are all legit, so I thought that this would be a great place to get started. So I want to start by going around and introduce yourself. Like, who are you? Where can we find you? And what's your favorite personal memory involving Star Wars? And I'll go to Jared first. Also, let me know what you guys want me to call you, because I can, if you have a preference.
Jared works. You can go with whatever. Jared Bachman Stubbs here. Hello. Jared the Dark Jedi is typically what I end up going by because that last name is abysmally long. I am the host and kind of lead content maker person at the Nerd Academy Podcast Network. We got a lot of cool stuff. We have our Star Wars show, Knights of the Nerd Republic, which, as implied, is a Star Wars show mainly. Find us wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube. We have our main show, the Nerd Academy Podcast, which is comic book movie news, stuff like that. We got all kinds of fun shows in the network. We got Nerd Academy Movie Club, number one contender podcast, which is based around the movie Trivia Schmodown. It's basically an after show for that.
Okay.
All kinds of good stuff. So yeah. Oh, and favorite memory. Hands down, seeing the Praetorian Guard fight for the first time. I went mildly catatonic during the movie. I blacked out a little bit. So, yeah.
Respect. Yeah, I wish I could have had a camera on my face during that moment too, because it was just me just going. I love that fight and the camera work there specifically. How about you, Dimitri?
Well, first thing, I'm Dimitri. Thanks for having me on, Brandon. I love your stuff, and so I'm honored to be here. I feel like I'm giving an acceptance award speech. Like, I want to thank my parents. I want to thank my third grade teacher, Miss Gaither, for starting me on this. But no, I'm host of the TheKeegShow, whatever you want to call it. I've had Brandon on before, and I would love to have Jared and Ben on sometime. But basically, after that whole plug thing, my earliest memory of Star Wars is like trading the expanded universe books around, like with my friends when we were younger. Mm-hmm. We're talking like it was like 3rd to 6th grade of just like trading everything, and it's like I still have my books down there, but basically it's all that expanded universe canon that's not canon anymore. Sadly, but it's all those books. It's just all the time that I spent reading the books and going to the library and getting those Star Wars books from the library. That was a big part of my childhood. So all those like characters I want to see come back.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to books. On the, like, I have just hype moments of the Revan novel when Revan force electrocutes Nyrus. Like, there was just a badass moment for sure. But how about you, Ben?
Hi, my name is Ben, and starting off, thank you, Brandon, for having me on. I really appreciate you. I enjoy all your content. And, I have my own podcast called Comic Comedians. It's where you can find me there. And, I forgot. You guys can call me Ben, Mr. Avocado Man, Schoobydoobert. Just don't call me late for dinner. So, But
We'll exclusively be using Schoobydoobert.
all right, go for it.
I was gonna use Avocado Man, Mr.
Do it.
Avocado Man. I don't
Do
know
it.
why, but you know.
I let the ladies call me that, but yeah, you can do it. But
I have no idea what that means. Is that a double entendre? I don't get it.
that's the fun part. Anyway, but yeah, I have my own podcast called Comic Comedians, and I have my own TikTok page called Schoobydoobert, and I have my own Instagram called Comic Comedy Podcast, and I just enjoy reading comic books. And one of my favorite memories of Star Wars is me and my buddies, we used to make YouTube videos when I was like in 6th grade. We used to have one of those flick out lightsabers, you know, those plastic ones that really left a mark when you hit your friends with them. And, you know, we used to like recreate scenes, and my mom would get really mad because we would, you know, hurt ourselves. But yeah, that we would recreate scenes and post them on YouTube, and luckily I have scrubbed very deeply and got rid of those. So
Nice. I love it. I love it. You guys all, I mean, know me because it's my show. But you're here, so you know where to find me. I believe. But yeah, for me, my greatest memory has to be Star Wars Celebration 2015. Just the energy there of that con, and I'm walking around. I'm dressed as Mace Windu. One of my good friends, has an excellent Tusken Raider, and we're just having a blast. Crazy amounts of energy because we're walking around, and the trailer for The Force Awakens had just been released, and so as we're waiting in line, we're like watching that over and over again, and I made a lot of awesome friends. That is even why I live in San Diego now. Is from those friends that I made at that con. So yeah, that's definitely my favorite memory from it. But yeah, you know, we're all big Star Wars fans, but we all love creating content, and we have our podcast. We like talking to people about it, and it's just a lot of fun. I gotta ask you guys, like, what got you started? Like, what made you want to get started? Like, why did you do it? And what's the hardest part on doing this type of thing? And we'll go to Dimitri first.
Yeah, I mean, what got me started with like podcasting and live streaming? I think live streaming was just a natural extension of podcasting after
and
COVID
content
hit.
Creation in general.
Oh, content creation. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I'm a performer. I'm an actor. I'm a improviser. Live theater is most of what I did before COVID. At the same time, like, I have geek interests, and not a lot of the time, like, it doesn't, like, if it's not up to me, it doesn't overlap as much. Like, whether I'm acting in some play and, like, I like X-Men. Like, it doesn't, there's never an X-Men play out there. Like, what's up with that? There should be an X-Men, live action X-Men play.
There was a Spider-Man play.
There was past tense was, right?
people for getting hurt.
There also used to be a lot of Spider-Man actors, but I don't think a lot of them are around now for that.
Yeah. And so, yeah, just starting the Keeg maybe like 5-6 years ago was just a natural extension of me just being like, after improv shows, I would like, we would get done at like 1 a.m. and me and my buddies would stay in the parking lot till like sunrise, just talking about just random stuff. And I'm like, well, why don't we record this? Why don't I actually like all the time that I've had when I was like growing up and learning all this information, why don't I just put it into something? And so I did the Keeg, and then when COVID hit, we couldn't meet up in person and record, so it all went live stream, which has been awesome because I've met everyone here through that. Nobody has to be in my area, which has been awesome. So yeah, just I need an outlet to talk about geek stuff, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work if I don't have that outlet. I go crazy.
I feel that for sure. How about you, Ben?
Well, yeah, like Dimitri, I'm the same way. You know, I started out really when I was really young, I started giving like my dog voices, and as I grew up, I started doing voices, and I'm sure for you guys have seen my page. I'm a voice actor. I love doing voice impressions, and since then, I grew up, and when I was in 6th grade, I started to make YouTube videos all the time, and then I was a skateboarder, and I would make skate videos all the time, so my editing really got very good, and then I was pretty big. I did Vine, and then I got TikTok. So all of my brain cells are gone, and yeah. And since then, it just keeps growing. And now the reason why I started a podcast was because I worked at a comic book store for a couple of years, and on Tuesdays we'd be closed because that's when all the new comic books would come in, and we would bag and board everything. And my boss, he is a Marine he is a Marine for 13 years. And my other boss worked at a car rental place as the manager. So when the doors were shut and locked and the lights were off, there were no filters, and they did not hold back. And I was just like, all right, we should make a podcast of you guys just bitching about things. Am I allowed to?
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to go all out, so we don't get the
Gotcha.
YouTube.
Gotcha. I don't want you to get demonetized. Sorry. but yeah, you guys just rambling and saying stuff. And but obviously I don't want to get you demonetized, so I'm not going to repeat what they say. But but I did start my own podcast because I was like, we should call it Comic Comedians, and then they came up with the Karma Chameleon theme song, Karma Chameleons. So yeah, that's really how it started for me. And you also asked, like, what's the hardest part about it? Mm-hmm. For me, it's definitely like the backlash I could get, because I'm younger. I'm 22 years old, so I don't know everything. And sometimes I get things wrong. And the comment section likes to tell me when I get things wrong. And, and I love having to go back and, I like learning new things. I love expanding my mind to new things. But on the other hand, it's just like, why do you have to be so forceful against it? And that's probably one of the hardest things, just getting past that barrier of not caring. My New Year's resolution was not to let things get under my skin. So far it's been working so well.
Nice. And then real quick, I wanted to shout out some people in the here in the live chat. So we have Swears Cookie, Rubik's Killer, hello there. Julia Christine, always holding it down. Don't mention Kenobi too many times because she will appear in your home. It happens. I've seen it. Ace Bronx, Element 7, Core Gamer Skills, Echo 705, Alphers, and I know I'm missing people. Hammy D Man, hello there. And Lex from Wednesday Pool List is also in the chat. So hello guys. But yeah, let's go to Jared. How did you get started? Where did this come from?
It's actually kind of a funny story. I was at a convention with a couple of my friends, actually, whom are all a part of Nerd Academy now. And I got to talking with a guy who ran his own podcast network, who eventually brought me into the fold. And slowly I went from a guest to a reoccurring guest to a panelist to co-host. And then whenever that network kind of grew, he handed the baton off to me as the host of the Star Wars show, and I got to host my own comic book show. Then I got to bring a bunch of my friends who are all a part of the Nerd Academy with me, Spencer, Joel, and Travis, and Mike. And then we eventually decided that we were kind of ready to spread our own wings and do our own thing. So around the end of 2019, we very graciously got it, left our little nest at Dewback Discussion at the time, and then got to establish the Nerd Academy. It's been a great time. We were just hitting our stride. Levi was new to that sort of thing. We had met Connor while we were working with Dewback Discussion, and got to I work with all of my save for Connor, who I met doing this. You get to talk about all the things to talk about with my nerd friends anyway. And I get to do this with my best friends, which is a blessing. It's a lot of fun. we were just doing podcasting. Now we're in the whole YouTube space, which necessitated the studio. It's been a blast. I talk about my favorite things with my favorite people. I couldn't be happier to do it. And, we're a smaller show, we're still getting our feet wet here, but, it's the opportunity to work with wonderful people like yourselves that, we're one of the most exciting parts. As for the most difficult part, I've only been the person who has to be in charge of this kind of thing for a year. And, I went from, we have 2.5 shows that we do. One of them's bi-weekly Campus Life. So I went from, so now that we have the studio and we have our own recording schedule, basically, we have 5 shows now, and we do 5 shows and we do them all. And I live in here. If I'm not at work, I'm in here basically. So, learning to pace myself, because it's a lot sometimes, but, I'm not about to complain about it either. It's a dream.
Awesome. No, I love it. And Dimitri knows all about this. Dimitri, volume.com just launched. Dimitri did how many shows in 2 days?
It was 3 days.
Yeah, so now that we have the
it was 3 days, 14 shows, 21 hours.
Yeah. He's you're a monster.
I slept for 14 hours after that. I was like,
you hate yourself?
No, yes. I guess first answer, yes. I was gonna say no, and I was like, wait, never mind, I do. Yes. That was me pushing myself. I think that's what it was. It was like, do I hate myself enough to like try to become better? Yeah, right. I do. That's a big motivation.
Awesome. I love it. All right. Well, we'll kind of do. We have a couple questions here. So, the first one. So we have Wednesday Pool List. Lexus in the chat. He is awesome. I love his content.
Great.
So first, I will go to Ben. We'll ask, what methods do you use to attract new listeners? And,
well, obviously.
And if you have any advice for people getting started.
Well, ways that I get viewers. Well, obviously TikTok is a great outlet, especially if you have a good following, and look at people like, what's that one podcast, the Star Wars podcast. I mean, they're growing faster than ever on TikTok, and they're showing up on my For You page all the time. And so like TikTok is a great outlet, especially like that, just keep posting on there. And then there's Instagram. Send it to all of your friends, spam all of them, and make sure they watch it, because if they watch it, that means you get your views. That means you and then you grow, and then your podcast will be pushed out more, or your show will be pushed out more. It's definitely something I would recommend, just push it out as much as you can. And if you're just getting started, what I would recommend is, make sure you have an idea, make sure you have a plan, and don't worry about having all the big high dollar equipment. Like you don't need a big microphone. Like these things right here, cell phones, they were literally meant for microphones. I started my podcast with one, and it worked perfect. Like the infomercial that I have in front of my podcast is actually recorded on my cell phone. And to this day, nobody would actually know that if I didn't tell you. So, it's just, push it out and make sure you have a plan, and don't get ahead of yourself on it. Don't walk in the door backwards. Make sure you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of times done is better than perfect.
Yeah.
So you can build up to getting more and more and better stuff and all this. So it's not something terrible to
right
worry
now
about,
I'm still currently going to college for this right now, for electronic journalism, and I'm learning about how I could push it out more. I actually was talking to a podcaster about this the other day. She was a guest speaker, and so
nice. I love it. And so Jared, how about you? How do you guys attract new listeners? And another one from Harith is, how do you get guests on your shows, or do you just ask around to random creators?
It's been interesting because the podcast space on its own is really hard to keep track of. You have so many different analytics coming from every which way. So it's remarkably difficult to keep track on like the podcasting space alone, what we're getting at. Now that we're finally doing YouTube stuff, that's a lot easier to just keep track of and keep an eye on. Of course, since we're newer to the YouTube space, that's moving at a snail's pace. But again, there's nothing to complain about there, of course. Because, any growth is growth. And again, it's a blast to do it. As far as getting guests on, it's normally anybody who I'm mutuals with or have any type of like direct line of communication with is how I'll typically reach out. I either people who I've met in the space who I've become friends with, who I work with very often. Jerry and Scotty from the Bombad cast come to mind. I work with them a lot. I've linked up with the fellows over at Comic Book Cast quite a few times, which is a lot of fun. I was only able to get my hands on Brandon whenever I lucked out and he saw one of my TikToks and followed me back. And me being the grubby-handed man I am, I was like, oh, I get him on the podcast now. And I started reaming my hands. Good. But yeah, no, it's normally stuff like that. There's lots of other people I'd like to work with, like Element 7. I see you in the chat, buddy. DMs are open. I'd love to have you on the time.
Same for me. I'll go out and say that. Same.
Yeah,
I guess I gotta keep my DMs open now too. No, my DMs have always been open, not just for podcasts, but
Well, you gotta handle your business. Do what you gotta do. All right. So next one is going to go to Dimitri. I was asked by Count Ash here from my Discord. He says, how do you stick through it in the early months with no followers? Is one. And then do I have to edit my videos to make them quality enough for people to want to watch them?
So let's tackle the first one. What was the first question? Now I'm trying to... Let's tackle the first one. What was the first one?
How do I stick with it in the early days with low followers?
Well, first things first, if you're doing a podcast, if you're doing a live stream, pick something that you're passionate about. Don't pick something that you think is popular, right? Pick something that you would do for free. I think that's the basic thing to start off with. Find something that you do for free. Find something that you would spend those time, the man hours or person hours, should I say, doing anyway, right? You don't have to push yourself too hard. Just have a consistent product. Because that's what it is. If you gain follow, let's just say you grab someone from some random person from Vermont likes your thing. I don't know if anyone here is from Vermont, but I'm choosing Vermont because I know nobody from Vermont. But if there's some random fan who's from Vermont, they want to know, when's the next time I can hear your episode? So if you have a consistent product, at least that one person's going to stick around. And then maybe that one person might tell a friend and kind of build from there. So as long as you're willing to do this for free in the beginning, and I'm saying free like I'm getting paid to do it. I'm still on that part. But it doesn't feel like as much work because I'm going to do it anyway. So stick with it. And then you'll slowly, with a consistent product, you'll slowly gain more followers and more people. And then also reach out to people. And get your family and friends to listen in, and hopefully this is something that interests them,
Yeah, and I gotta say I fully agree. The High Ground podcast is something I always wanted to do. What's funny is I had never even recorded anything, and I went out and I bought this mic, and I don't know, I did it before I ever recorded anything.
What did I just tell you, Brandon?
But again, this is all the stuff that me and my friends would talk about. As I've said before, like I was really into reading Legends books. So just read a crap ton of Legends books. I think about 131 now, and then all of the canon books. And as I would hear, because I would actively listen to podcasts, and I hear them say things that are just like wrong and stuff, and I'm like, no, I know the answer to this. I was like, all right. And then I felt like Thanos, so like, fine, I'll do it myself. So that's actually that's why I started doing a TikTok. That's actually where that whole thing came from. But again, this, especially the TikTok community, is amazing and like open. The first episode of the High Ground podcast, I reached out to Budget Jason Statham. You may know him as a guy that does political stuff. He switched to politics because it was less toxic than Star Wars content.
Really?
Isn't that saying something? Isn't that saying
I was
something?
just about to say.
Yeah, that's like legitimately, and he's stuck with, so politics politics during election season and COVID this past thing was less toxic than Star Wars. But yeah, he was the first person I reached out to, and I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but maybe someone will talk to me. And he's like, sure, I'll get my little brother too, and that's a dude named Kev. And then it came day to record, and Budget Jason Statham forgot about it. So it was just me and a dude named Kev, and then he's like, oh, let me reach out to someone. And he texted J. Kevin Parker. And so that's how my first episode came about, is it was us three. And it was awesome. We had a blast, but it was so random. And it's, I don't know, it's just been super fun. All right, so what I want us to do is, Element7 just asked a question in the chat. And so we're doing this in two sections. After this, we're going to be pitching some wild Star Wars ideas, which I'm excited for. But I want to end this all with this section with Element's question. If you could have anyone at all throughout time and space and realities, who would you have on your podcast to interview? And then after that, just let us know like what other future projects you guys have working on here. And I will go to Jared first.
I'm gonna be honest. I was reading Element7 question in the thing. Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
No. That's the question I'm doing, right? So it's if you have anyone at all on your podcast throughout time, space, and realities, who would it be? And then also let us know where we can find your future projects and stuff like that. Because after this, we'll move on to our Star Wars section.
Excellent. Okay. Talking real people, either Sam Witwer or Kevin Feige.
Oh, okay.
On either the Star Wars show or on Nerd Academy Main, the actual main show. If we're talking fictional, I am interviewing Ben Solo on Knights of the Nerd Republic so that we can prove to everybody that he's never done anything wrong ever.
Ben Solo apologist. We have quite a few of those. I would argue that him chopping Lor Santeca in half is probably not ideal. But
listen, I'm not saying everything he's done is great. But
hey man, LeBron misses too sometimes. Okay.
I could go on for hours about Ben, so I'm gonna.
Please do. I like that name.
All right, and then one last time as we move out of the podcasting part, where can people find your future stuff, or if you have anything cooking right now?
Oh yeah, you guys can search the Nerd Academy podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can watch the YouTube version. We have stuff coming out almost every other day on both our YouTube channel and on our podcast feed. If you're so inclined, we do have a Patreon where we have exclusive content up there as well. We have a Star Wars Versus series that we do. Our March matchup was Darth Malgus versus Kyle Katarn. Our April matchup is going to be.
That's just mean. Why would you do that to Kyle?
Listen. No spoilers, but it's a lot closer than people would give him credit for. But let's finish your thought. Oh yeah, April's is going to be Executor Cedrus versus the Grand Inquisitor. More of a thematic match that Levi came up with, which we're very excited to do. But yeah, the Nerd Academy podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, that feels so weird doing an ad read. Our most recent episode of Knights of the Nerd Republic had Brandon on. We talked about who is most to blame for the fall of the Jedi Order. And it was an absolute blast of an episode.
It was a lot of fun. Awesome. And just a name to toss in potentially for your Versus series, but people forget about him because he's a pretty low end, but canon character is Count Vidian. Check out Count Vidian. Toss him in the mix. He's a cyborg bureaucrat.
Oh, okay. Here's the interesting thing with the Versus series that like Spencer and I kind of bit ourselves on the ass with that. So we started doing it. We're like, eventually we'll do like non-force sensitives, right? But then we were getting towards the end of the year. I was at work and I called him in a frenzy. I was like, Spencer, I just had the craziest idea. What if we do a tournament at the end of the year? And he was like, what are you talking about? Wait. He's like, I like the idea, but explain what you mean. Tournament. And I was like, we take all the winners on one side, we take all the losers on one side, and we mix them up. And then we like let people like bet on who they think will win, and then we'll send them free merch, right? I'm like, again, it's like I look like Charlie and Always Sunny, like the Pepe Sylvia quote, right? And just psychotically pitching him this idea, and then we realized going into the second season, which we're like 3 episodes into now, that like all of the characters have to be of like a certain power tier now. Like,
true.
We can't.
You can't toss Han in there.
Yeah, you toss Han in there. Like already this season, we did Darth Krayt versus Darth Revan, Rey versus Barriss Offee, and then, like I said, Kyle versus Malgus. And it's like, when are we supposed to throw Din Djarin in there and just throw him to the wolves? You know, just like like sure, let's see one of these Sith Force gods rip you limb from limb. You know.
I'd pay to see that.
I would like to watch that, please.
I would love to see that.
I'd like to believe that Han would wiggle his way out of something. I'm just saying, like, his tenacity. He can't go like face to face, but he can get the hell out of there.
Surviving is different than winning, though. I would argue, but
well, you know,
that's the other thing is that we don't do it to the death. We do it to like the fight being over.
Yeah.
One of
Malgus
the funniest
doesn't usually
we
go
ever
to the
did.
death anyway.
Yeah, well, and I'll shut up because I'm taking
He's a
up
big
way
baby.
more time than I should. But this one's funny. The way we do it is that at the very end, before we like try to decide who would win, we like choose an arena at random. And for October of last year, we did Darth Vader versus General Grievous. And we spent the whole thing waffling back and forth. It's like, this is so hard to call because the other one can exploit the other one's weaknesses really well. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? And then we ended up with the tree house villages on Kashyyyk, and we were like, Grievous can't do spinny, and Vader's just gonna collapse the ground under him. Like, we just had all this like big buildup where like we really have no idea. Like, this is going to be a really long show trying to fit. Never mind, Vader wins. Moving on. Like, it was just over. Like, the second we got the arena, it was over.
That's awesome. No, I like the premise. Hello there, Cyber Dino. All right, Dimitri, how about you? If
I don't even remember the question anymore.
No,
we're just like riffing.
I'm so sorry.
Oh no!
I'm just thinking about Grievous cutting down trees.
I'm thinking about just Han Solo wiggling his way between like like just force gods, you know?
Well, I'm thinking about if I fought Darth Sion to the death, would I automatically win?
Yeah.
Like he's dead already. So no, but
who would I have?
yes,
Right?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Of course, like, I'm most likely gonna pick like real life people. It's hard, like picking across realities. I would love Paul Rudd. I just want to hang out with Paul Rudd. We have the same birthday, not the full birthday, but like the day itself, April 6th. So I would love to just like be birthday twins with him and just like go around and do crazy things. That's cool. I would love to interview Tamura Morrison.
Ooh.
I would love, especially with Boba Fett coming up and everything, and like I don't know why I'm picking him, but like I look at him and I love him. Like he just like you know, I don't know. Across realities though, that's tough. See, because I'm a big X-Men fan, so like Storm from the X-Men, I think I would just invite her to dinner.
Make the Black Panthers
is
out
it
of
just?
picture.
Well, I mean, they're not married anymore. They're divorced.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't know
we
that.
all good. Wolverine might get jealous.
Yeah, but
as
she's like,
Wolverine
that's
does.
my ex, and you're like, fuck.
I mean, look. I hope I'm funny enough to like charm like Black Panther into not like just beating me up out of jealousy. I'd like to think so.
So to beat the millionaire, you're just like, I'm funny though. He has money, but I'm funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
All right, yeah,
I've reached that level. You know.
I think.
Well, but is it for a podcast or do you get to go out for dinner afterwards? I don't know. So those are two different things.
And then also, if you have anything coming up.
Yeah. Well, so there's a new streaming platform called Volume, whereas Twitch is mostly for gaming and anyone who's not gaming kind of gets pushed under. There's a new streaming platform called Volume that's just starting up. Now, Volume's for performing arts and that sort of thing. So right now they have a lot of musicians and not enough podcasts. So if anyone is looking to put podcasts up there, it's always a cool start, and you could like multi-stream and just get it up there. Let me know, and I might be able to have an in for you guys. They just got out of beta, so we were in beta. The Keeg was in beta for them, and then now they're out of beta. But they've been pretty good to me. But you can follow the Keeg at volume.com/TheKeegShow. We're doing more and more shows there. And it's not just podcasts. We did like a geek trivia show, and we dubbed Saturday morning cartoons on there the other day, and like we did a whole bunch of different things. And so, yeah, follow the Keeg there. I mean, obviously we're on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheKeegShow. We're on TikTok at TheKeegShow. We're on Instagram at TheKeegShow. I have an Instagram live with a lightsaber spinner, Hannah.emp. If you know her, she spins a crazy lightsaber. We're doing an Instagram live chat tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific on Instagram Live at The Keeg Show with her. And I do a lot of one-on-one chats on Instagram Live, but that's been cool. We're all over the place. So we're either most of our stuff is at The Keeg Show, but sometimes it's at The Keeg. It is what it is. At The Keeg Show most of the time.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
also, after the first episode of Falcon Winter Soldier, I believe you'll be having a very handsome guest.
I forgot to plug the show that I'm doing that you're on. Yes.
Yeah.
We have an after show for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. How stupid to me.
Who's the handsome guest?
Your mom.
Great. My mom is a handsome woman, so
yeah. We are doing an after show for Falcon and the Winter Soldier because we did one for WandaVision. So like WandaVision would drop at midnight Pacific time, and then at 1 a.m. Pacific time we would do a show for like an hour and a half. So we're doing that for Falcon and Winter Soldier. So this Thursday night, Friday morning, we got a self-proclaimed handsome guest coming in.
My mom tells me I'm handsome. But
all right, that's cute. I'll accept it.
My mom.
Yeah, Darth Chaco will be on our first episode talking about that.
Woohoo!
How about you, Ben? You get to interview anyone
Oh,
time
dude,
and
where do I
space.
begin? All right, so there's Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith, obviously, he's one of my heroes. You know, big nerd podcaster. One of my Kevin Smith. Then there's Kevin Feige, and then are there any other Kevins? No. Okay. Like Kevin Smith, Kevin Feige. You know, I would love to meet Rob Paulson because you know I love voice acting, and Rob Paulson. Like, I don't know if it was Brandon that I told this to, but I have made it my goal to sound like every voice that Rob Paulson has done. So that way I can take over after he is gone. So that way his legacy lives on forever. And you guys will be seeing that on my TikTok soon. But, you know, Rob Paulson would be very cool to have. And who else is there? You know, there's just so many people that I could pick anybody, you know. But if I had to pick my top three, it'd be those guys there. And oh yeah, Jim Lee probably, Todd McFarlane. You know, have some writers and some comic book writers. Tom Taylor.
No.
I think I'm good. I think I got them all. But yeah, but if I had to pick a fictional character, you know, I feel like Hondo would be very fun to have. You know, he'd come in, he'd be like, Benjamin, my boy, we gonna talk about podcast. Or I don't know, he'll do something.
It's all fun and games until Hondo does just rails a line of spice live on air.
Yeah, exactly.
It brings up the nerves, you know. So,
And then, and then he steals your laptop. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he steals my laptop, but somehow he did it over Zoom. I don't know how he did it through Zoom, but he did it. It was very impressive, and I just thought it was very cool. But yeah, there'd be Hondo. Yeah. That's who I'd pick. What was the other half of the question?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. What other? Yeah, sorry, blonde. You gotta give me a minute.
Yeah.
I'm a blonde. You gotta give me a minute. It takes me. But yeah, my upcoming projects. I actually just did an interview with an actor from WandaVision. Well, he wasn't exactly like a big actor. You guys know who Blip Guy is? Have you guys seen Blip Guy on your TikTok?
Oh, Blip, yeah.
I met up with him. He had a 3-second Oscar-worthy role of him blipping back to life. And he was telling me about how he got the role and said it's like a 15-minute interview. Super, super nice guy. And he was telling me about... Yeah, and he says that he wants to play Mephisto very badly. So I was like, well, then Mephisto, he was there the whole time. Yeah. And... you know what? He's such a nice guy, super funny, and stuff like that. I'm also going to be talking about WandaVision, obviously, with Dimitri soon, hopefully. You know, so many other things I got planned. I'm definitely going to go back into Star Wars for a little bit because a lot of my mutuals are Star Wars creators, and I didn't get to have them on last time I talked to them. So, you know, and... I would love to talk with them, and then I'm doing a cosplay thing where I'm having cosplayers come on, and I'm going to talk to them about cosplay, history of it, and what they should do better. And yeah, I just got a whole bunch of stuff that I have planned up there. So
Nice.
Yeah, look forward to that on Comic Comedians, everybody. And like I said on my TikTok, I'm going to be opening up my world to. I'm sorry, man. I'm rambling, but I'm nervous. Anyway. I'm going to be opening up more on voice acting on my TikTok.
Nice. No, I love it. So if I'm going across time and space, I mean, I obviously you do have to thank the maker, right? So Lucas, of course, is an easy one to have on, but also, you know, Mark Hamill, because he's just like I feel like he just has an incredible personality. You could meet him, and he's just like a dick in real life. But I think he'd be hilarious. Jaina Solo, my girl.
Oh,
Definitely gonna have Jaina on. Would I want to have like a Sith Lord on? Probably not. That probably would not be cool. But Korg. I'd have Korg on.
Korg.
I would have an actual, you know, re-meet between Korg and Noob Master 69. Have a meet in person. I would have my future self on and be like, hey, Am I successful? No? Damn it. All right.
It's so sad.
What you do wrong?
It's like, I interviewed myself 50 years ago. It tanked the ratings. It made me really depressed.
But yeah, I mean that's all I can really think of it for now. But yeah, it would be a lot of fun. I can't wait. But I mean, you guys already know my schedule. I will be talking with Element 7 on Diet in the Force this Sunday or Saturday. And we always have just great Star Wars conversations and just a blast. But all right, moving back into Star Wars.
Sorry, real quick. I just because I had a literal reaction when you said Jaina Solo, because when I was a youngster, I was like, I wanted to be Zek. Because I was like, Zek and her had a thing, and like I once did a book report in class where I had to have to dress up like a character, and I was like, I want to be Zek. I don't even know enough to like. I just know that like she was a book cover crush when I was a kid.
No.
Anyway,
she does get with Zach. You're right, but
yeah.
But in the end, her name ends up being Jaina Solo Fell. So I'll be Jagged Fell. You could be.
All right. I'll take that. All right.
All right. Moving back into Star Wars land here. I asked you guys, we're talking about like these shows and things that we're all doing. So now I wanted us to do some pitches, but I don't want this to be like how we normally like. Oh, what's a cool stories in Star Wars that you would like to see? I gave you guys a bunch of genres to have you pick from stuff so that we can kind of get wild with it.
Right.
And so yeah, I want to hear something interesting, something non-standard, and I want to go to Ben first, right? So you're making a Star Wars show or movie, but non-standard. We got to mix up. We got to go to a different genre, just like WandaVision broke barriers and was incredible.
Yes.
What are you making?
Well, like you said, we had to make up 3. And I made up 3, but I'm going to save my best one for last. And so I'm going to start off with maybe my little fun one. I'm going to make a children's movie. And sure, it's Star Wars. A lot of Star Wars movies are made for kids, obviously. But I'm thinking the Kyber crystal that could. Maybe a Pixar short of a Kyber crystal finding its Jedi. Once there was a Kyber crystal all through the land. Until it found the hand of Order 66, and so that and bled. Anyway,
it's depressing. Sounds like Pixar.
Yeah. What if Kyber crystals have
purified later, right? I mean, that's how we can end it.
Well, 2 of them were, yeah. That I know of. I think Ahsoka only did 2 that I know of, but who knows? There could be more out there. We'll never know. But
what we do have a double bladed in High Republic.
Okay.
As well as a single blade in High Republic.
I keep my comic books at the store back at home, and I'm 3 hours away from home, and I told them I'd pick up all my stuff when I go home. So I haven't actually caught up on that, but thank you. That's awesome. That's actually cool to hear. I'm so happy. But I've been reading the Darth Vader series right now about the Exegol. But sorry, off topic. Anyway, the little Kyber crystal that could, like a little Pixar short, maybe kind of like that. But like of a Kyber crystal finding its Jedi.
I like it. I like it. It sounds cute, and
I
it's
think
like
it would be good for kids.
It's like the exact opposite of that the short little bit on the Clone Wars when they're at Ilum. So I would love to see the opposite of that. Alma 7 just mentioned the Chronicles of Geode. I want to add Geode to someone who I would interview, and it'd just be me and this rock. And I'm like, so, how's it going? No, I love Geode. We stand Geode here.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
Hardcore. Geode rocks. I'll leave the call. Thank you.
Sorry to get off topic. You guys can't hear what's going on out here, can you?
No. You're
Okay,
fine.
okay, yeah, the college dorm.
How
St. Patrick's Day.
how about you, Jared? What's your first pitch?
Oh, okay, my first one. I'm gonna do what Ben's doing. I'm gonna save my heavy hitter for last.
Yeah.
There is a running joke that Levi and I have on Knights of the Nerd Republic. And it is that the one thing we want from Star Wars more than anything is what we have described as the Sithcom. Essentially, we really want like a dark side version of The Office.
Okay.
Yes.
Because, and I can't help but like endlessly plugging. This came up whenever Chaco was on Knights. That the funniest thing in all of Star Wars is the plot of Labyrinth of Evil. Because it is this like it's a sitcom plot. You cannot convince me that it is not the plot of a sitcom where it is like, okay, Obi-Wan and Anakin invade Catan Moidia. Obi-Wan gets stoned during the fight. You know, bumbles ass backwards through somehow surviving the battle with the CIS, and then in Newt Gunray forgetting to get his hologram projector chair that is designed only to communicate with Sidious. He leaves it. They find it. Then Newt Gunray has to have this hilarious conversation. He's like, yeah, so we got off of Catan Moidia just fine. We're all good. I forgot the chair. What? No, I forgot the chair. You what? I forgot the chair. And then they have to hang up on him and Grievous, and then it's just Sidious and Dooku, where Sidious just go, okay. Oh, I know. Invade Coruscant! And then, you know, like that's the only plan. Why? Because the Jedi are knocking on his door. That's funny as hell. Yeah. That is hilarious. It is funnier than a book about a war should be. Magnificently so. So I want that, but a whole TV show of it. Up to and including stuff like how petty the Imperials are with each other. Like look me in my eyes and tell me that you could not do some like Dwight Schrute, Jim Halpert style stuff off of Orson Krennic and Thrawn.
Yeah.
Like look me in my eyes and tell me just identity theft is not a laughing matter, Thrawn. Like tell me. Look me in my eyes and tell me that would not be hilarious. So Disney, greenlight the Sithcom whenever you'd like. Levi and I would like to be paid.
Yes,
I love it. And yeah, no, that book, that book is because it's like it's Palpatine trying to like plug holes and stuff like, oh crap, we found this. Oh, now they traced it. Can you come pick me up? Can you come pick me up? I'd rather not. And then everyone just forgets because there was a big battle. But it's wonderful. How about you, Dimitri? What is your pitch?
I mean, I got three like everybody else. I'm gonna save my best for last. But my first one is a play off of C-SPAN, except it stands for Coruscant Senate Public Affairs Network. It could go one of two ways depending on what we want, all right? One could just be just this boring news feed of the Senate right before A New Hope, where the Senate's going to be dissolved, right? And so everybody's bickering. It's like Parliament. Everybody's doing that. There's one thing. So it could be super boring. Or we can go a completely different way with it, have Shonda Rhimes produce it, make it like Scandal, and really up the ante, with all the drama that goes on on the Senate floor.
I can picture that. No, yeah. I'm liking that. So my first pitch is, it's very simple. It's very simple, and I'm not sure if I want this to happen on Naboo or Mandalore, but I need Ninja Warrior Challenge, just a Star Wars version of it. And like, I'm trying to decide between like have it be a serious competition with Mandalorians, and just it being super awesome, or or it's Gungans. And I just picture it being really stupid. And
I need Mandalorian Wipeout.
No,
that's
man,
what I need. I need the Gungans doing American Ninja Warrior, and I need
that was actually my idea that I was gonna say next. I was gonna say Wipeout, but with Gungans.
Listen to my bad buying on the big balls.
That's too good. It's
Ohana means family. Okay.
all right, perfect. So that's round one. It's round one. I
gotta think up something now. Okay, I got it. I got this. I was on an improv team. Let's do this.
Let's so chat. What was your favorite one from round one? Lots of chat, and then we'll jump into round two.
Before you vote, say a kyber crystal with legs would be adorable. I'm just saying.
I just realized that Shonda Rhimes sounds like a name that could exist in canon. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, I picture it like a in canon like hip hop.
I'm not gonna lie though. No, Jared, yours was probably the best of round one. I'm not gonna lie. Yours was. I like that. The Office, but
yeah,
that's where I'm leaning for round one myself.
Hey, listen, I share that with Levi 100%. I do agree with the Shonda Rhimes thing, though. You can put a little extra sauce on it and flip the letters and make it Rhonda Shimes.
Rhonda Shimes. Yeah, okay. All right.
All right, Jared, round two. What is pitch number two?
Okay, so not too dissimilar from Dimitri here. In the same vein, but we're gonna go have some fun with this.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite elements of Legends, and I feel like it's fleshed out more in Legends than it is in canon, is the Imperial psyop that went into hand-waving away the fall of the Republic.
Mm.
So what I would want to see is it's like kind of like a political thriller that is documenting how the fall of the Republic went according to the Empire.
Mm.
We see Mace Windu try to kill the Chancellor. We see, this like Jedi coup attempt. We see all of this stuff, and it's all framed from like, yes, this is the Empire pushing out this propaganda. And we can kind of see maybe somebody who's like helping to produce this propaganda, helping, try to feed the people this line of Bantapudu to keep it clean on Chaco's show. That they're all feeding this line of crap to everybody, but like they know that it's all crap. And yeah, I think it'd be really interesting to just like have I don't know, make it a show and it's just all Imperial propaganda, and it's like, a history course as according to the Empire as to how things shook out, and maybe some, rebellion, counter information against the misinformation, maybe sprinkle them in there, but most of the focus being on it being like, or maybe just make it a documentary made by the Empire, something like that. But yeah.
No, I love it. Sorry, I had to laugh at Dimitri's comment of Jim put Dwight's stapler in carbonite. It would just be beautiful. No, I've always liked, because you can actually even buy. There's like a book of like the political propaganda from the Empire, and that's actually what Jovina Gavankar, Iden Versio's mom, did for a living. Is Imperial propaganda. I
mean, I'm literally wearing Imperial propaganda right now. Narwhal. Okay, I was trying to figure out like why Ben was wearing these two narwhals things, and I was like, oh, I get it now.
All right, but how
my mic was muted.
Yeah. Sorry, what'd you say, Brandon?
How about you? Which pitch number two?
How about me? Is that what you're talking Yeah. Well, okay, again, save my best for last. So, this is the second one. It is The Bachelor. It's The Bachelor, where all the ladies are of different alien races. It's obviously a show recorded by Imperial, Imperial media. So it's never gonna frame. It's never gonna frame the rebels in a good way. One of the girls ends up like having a dad who once like said something bad about the Emperor, and then she gets taken off the show and executed. We get like a Gungan. We get a Gungan contestant, that's trying to woo the Bachelor. Everybody's cheering. Maybe what they want the Gungan to win. Maybe they don't want the Gungan to win. She gets to the final two, and he obviously does not pick the Gungan. That upsets everybody. The Gungan gets her own Bachelorette spinoff. There's a lot we can dissect with this. I really want to know how people date. How do people date in the Star Wars universe? I don't know.
I take you, Gungan Bachelorette, and I raise you that a young, childish Landino is the Bachelor.
Thank you.
Ooh.
I was just.
Ooh. I like it. Yeah, I watched the heck out of that show.
Ladies.
While also being very confused at how the mechanics of certain things will work, but it makes me think of because at Star Wars Celebration 2015 we had a big thing of Star Wars Playboy bunnies. So yes, there was a couple humans, but we had Twi'leks there. We even had a Mon Cala, and it was made me feel weird.
I saw Billy. I've seen.
I really want to see
Darth Maul. That was.
What'd you say?
I've seen a belly dancing Darth Maul. So trust me. Trust me.
It's not like he can dance with his hips.
No, it's much easier. You just have like a servo in there, and just like.
I will say, as I do want to try to get to Star Wars Celebration in the near future, I so badly want to see Star Wars Playboy bunnies. I want to see them go like even more like balls to the wall with like the alien species. Like just give me like a like sultry Keldor. Like really go for it. Like whole respirator apparatus thing going on over here, and then just like wham wham wham, for the rest of it. I think it'd be magnificent.
Yeah. I mean, I'd set up for a slutty hut, but
wait, Jabba the slut? It's what? A slutty hut?
Jabba the slut. Did you just
subscribe to their only hands?
Oh yeah, talk dirty to me.
How about you, Ben?
All right. Well, I just did a ton of research. I called Google. Basically, I would like an action comedy for a kind of like Ant-Man for the MCU, but like in Star Wars. Okay, so here's what the idea is. Basically, in Star Wars Rebels, they talk about the space whales and how they kind of help start up hyperspace. How about we go back to before hyperspace was even a thing, right when they created it? And I would love to see the first time they do hyperspace, because then they could do like an homage to Spaceballs when they were going ludicrous speed, and then they were like, stop it! And then they just like slams, and one guy just like flies right across the entire ship, just slams like face front right into the... Right, it just like a bunch of like engineers just trying to build the first hyperspace engine. That would and watch them study the space whales. And is that what they're called? Chago, what are they called?
Purgle.
Purgles, yeah.
Purgles.
I would love to see them like study the Purgles and build an actual hyperdrive and do hyperspace, because I feel like that would be the coolest thing, to watch somebody's eyes the first time they see hyperspace, and making it like a normal thing, because I feel like that's a thing that's overlooked. Like that really made travel through space like so much better.
Right.
Possible, yeah.
Unless you got hit by a Purgle, like when you're going,
I mean, yeah, and so for my second one, I gotta go with an old. Well, we're gonna go horror, but
I like where
have
this
you
is
guys ever played Ewok Hunt?
yes,
I can't do it.
yes,
Have you
I
played
did.
Ewok Hunt.
Yes,
All right.
I didn't sleep that night.
This is the premise.
Scared little teddy bears.
Return of the Jedi just happened. Like you were in, you got knocked out because they threw rocks at you, but you didn't die. You wake up, you're on Endor. You're a stormtrooper, and you just have to survive. You have to figure out how to get off of your planet. It's kind of like just like a horror movie where you just hear little "Luke-a-luke-a-loo," and you're like, oh no! They're throwing like bees and crap at you. There's traps all over the jungle, and like you. But I also want
It's just Predator. It's Predator,
I would
but
only
with the
do this
Ewoks.
if Mace Windu is like the main Ewok, that like the boss Ewok. If Mace Windu is the one that portrays it, that is the only way. Can you guys imagine that?
I just no, because yes, that game mode is terrifying. But I also want like you set a beacon somewhere, and it's like if I can just last, like then I'll survive. But on that planet there are other bigger creatures, like the big traps that were crushing the walkers. Those weren't set for the walkers. There's other stuff out there too. I just think it's horrible.
Hunting people,
I know that like the episode he's in season 2 of Mando kind of like indirectly told us what Migs Mayfeld's past with the Empire was. But could we retcon it to like he's traumatized from serving before, and he was like, oh yeah, he's like, I didn't die on the Death Star, but boy do I wish I did.
He had to go back to Space Boston.
Space Boston,
In a galaxy wicked far away.
The only reason he survived so long is because the Ewoks were so full on the human meat that they had already collected up until then.
Oof.
All right, sorry. So
That's
people
magnificent.
people in the chat, what do you guys think?
I'm sorry, mine sucked. I had to make it up on the spot.
For round 2, what are you guys feeling? Round 1, they were definitely
I'm so glad I left my
sitcom. This one I'm leaning towards Space Bachelor myself, but
I like the Lando idea. Lando as the Bachelor is super good.
yeah.
Because then you could have droids as the
You could have droids. Oh, Lando don't care, and that's fine.
aux cords.
Let's be real.
Oh, why
That's
have
a
to say
thing.
aux cord?
Let's be. That has to be a thing. I mean, that's like we don't have droids, but and we have that already. So,
Right.
I'm just saying there's
Like crazy
there's a
expensive.
market.
Don't ask how I know that.
There's a market.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Listen, one of the most terrifying things I've seen rewatching the Clone Wars with my little sister are those like really weird, like hyper feminine droids that a lot of the separatists and senators keep around.
Oh.
And I'm like, those are there for one thing. I don't like it. I was like the clip where Chris Evans was like, I don't like it. I don't like the railing droids. They scare me a lot and make me uncomfy.
I am so glad I left my best one for last. Because my first one was like a joke. My second one was made up off the top of my head. This one I actually I read some legend stuff last night. I went into detail. Like, this is going to be the best one that I got. You guys are gonna.
Well, all right, that's perfect because I started with Jared last time. So Demetria, you're up first.
Yep.
Okay. My final one is it's called Alderaan High, and it's a teen drama akin to the CW. Where we're dealing with teenagers going through normal things. Their bodies are changing, their hormones are elevated. They just got to get through sixth period. Am I right?
The highs and lows of high school football.
They're in Alderaan places.
Right. Some of them, some of them maybe, they're from the wrong side of the tracks. There's the gang that pod races, over in the on the south side of, I guess, Alderaan City or whatever. And it only lasts one episode because they look up in the sky and it's like, oh, is that a moon? And that's it.
I love it. No, it reminds me of I had
It just hit me.
It just hit you? It just hit them too.
No, so that reminds me of I had Obi-Wan Kenobi on here, and he cosplays as Obi-Wan, does so excellently. Yeah. And before he pitched a something called The Last Day of Alderaan, where each episode is a random person, whatever the last day was.
I remember that
switches every time, and then we cry.
It's super sad. That's super sad.
It's like This Is Us, but everyone dies every episode.
Right. But like in Alderaan High, they're just like, I don't know which corsage to buy for prom. And they don't have to worry about that anymore.
Get the Padme look.
I'm just picturing like Alderaan High has a football game, and it's like the last play, and he throws a Hail Mary, and then we don't know if they caught it or not.
Oh no! Well, we know they caught it. They did not catch it.
All right. How about you, Ben?
All right. So guys, this is my best one. This one is the one I did all my research for. Okay, so I also like Chaco. I want to go for horror because that is something. Because Star Wars can be scary. In Rogue One, they really showed how scary the Empire could be by showing like the bigness of the Death Star and all the ships. But what I would like to see is maybe a crew going out into space and going off course and losing their minds. They're in the middle of space. Only 4 or 5 people on the ship. And they are starting to see demons. Maybe, I believe in Legends there are things such called Sith ghosts. I'm not for sure. But they start seeing maybe Sith ghosts. Something maybe running around on the ship. Maybe we could do a little bit of Death Troopers. We could throw a little bit of that in there. Maybe they could see that and they crash onto a planet, and we could see the big spiders that we saw in Mandalorian season 2. We could see that we could
not that spider again.
Yeah. I'm scaring the pants off of you. Somebody call a barista because this roast just got dark, and so. Anyway, and the reason why I thought of this was because I'm sure all you guys are familiar with Alan Moore, right? The writer, the writer of Watchmen and The Killing Joke. He wrote some Star Wars stuff, and I read it. Basically, there was a story where Luke Skywalker went blind, where he blindfolded himself and walked into a temple, and he was attacked by just tons and tons of monsters, and it was creepy, like Alan Moore does. It was scary, and I would like to see that on a crew, just watching them slowly lose their minds. Like at first it's nothing, they're fine. And then as the story keeps going, they start seeing things, they start going crazy, they start losing their mind, they start turning on each other, they start shooting each other, and then there's maybe that one droid that just so happens to be the one that keeps it all together.
I love it. you're just trying to bring out all of my fears, so I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thankfully, you did not mention bumblebees. Don't know what it is. Can't.
Oh yeah, there'll be bumblebees too now. But giant bumblebees, like the spiders.
Yeah. No, sir. I don't like it.
Oh yeah, I forgot you made a TikTok about that.
How about you, Jared? Pitch number 3.
All right, so I'm going to break the rules here a little bit, and it is not a TV show or a movie, but in fact a video game.
Ooh, I like it.
All right,
I'm breaking the rules a little bit, so disqualify me from the round 3, whatever. But whom here or in chat are familiar with the fighting game franchise Soul Calibur?
Oh, I already like where this is going.
So now that Lucasfilm Games are open to working with publishers aside from EA, I think one of the most amazing titles they could produce would be a collaboration with Project Soul. And in the same way that Warner Bros. WB Games and NetherRealm can get away with doing Mortal Kombat and then just Mortal Kombat but no blood and it's Batman, Project Soul and Lucasfilm Games can get away with Soul Calibur but less boobs and all force wielders.
Less boobs, you say?
not buying it.
We don't need Ivy Valentine in this one, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I felt guilty playing as her.
Right. It just doesn't feel right. But literally take the exact same way the mechanics work. The 8-way run, weapons-based combat, work in, force abilities and everything. Keep it limited to lightsaber-wielding characters. Here, you know what? Lucasfilm Games, I'm even give you the title, Star Wars Duelist. Okay? You take that for free. Also include the character creation. Like I said, literally just let it be a clone of Soul Calibur, but Star Wars, the same way Injustice is a clone of Mortal Kombat, but DC, right? So you can do character creation where you create your own characters, as the name implies, based off of the fighting styles of the characters that already exist in the game. You want to do a saber staff fighter, Darth Maul fighting style, and then do whatever the hell you want with them as far as character customization goes. Alien races, everything, go all out. Do the way they did the story mode for Soul Calibur 4, where every character gets their own individual path through the story, through the narrative. Take them all the way through. You get to relive iconic battles and fights and moments, all of that cool stuff, and to really have some fun with it. And to sprinkle in a little bit Mortal Kombat in here now, you can do how you have like different arcades. You can call it like a world between worlds mode where you do alternate timeline outcomes with characters. Vader not locked inside of a suit. Ben Solo, had he survived the events of the Rise of Skywalker. Darkseid Rey. The possibilities are endless. You can do so much with a game like that, and I think it would be free money.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds a little bit better than Star Wars Masters of Terrakasi.
Yeah.
Which I love that game. But give me Arden Lin and it's over. That's all I'm saying. No, that would really be printing money. I mean, there's I want all of that.
I want to address Element 7 in the chat real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt. Yes, they did have Darth Vader, Yoda, and Galen Merrick in Soul Calibur 4. That is the reason I got into Soul Calibur.
I got into it in 2. PlayStation 2. Spawn.
I did the one right before that because it had that weird game mode where you like attacked castles and you had like cavalry and there's a whole other game mode in the previous one too that was amazing, or that I loved personally. But all right, so I'll bring up some of these. So Element 7 wants most extreme elimination challenge, which I don't know if you guys recall that, but that show was amazing. Yeah. And it would be commentated by Yoda and Mace Windu, which would just be incredible. So definitely. He also said Full House, but it's the Ghost Crew.
That's basically Rebels.
But can we have like, I just because of Rebels, we would definitely need Hondo to make appearances every now and like he's like the weird estranged uncle that everyone hates. That leads everyone.
Wait, is Hondo Kimmy Gibbler? Is that what you're saying?
Oh,
yes,
that tracks. That tracks. Brooke says she needs Luke growing up, and it's the Fresh Prince of Tatooine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he goes to move with his uncle and aunt in Tatooine.
Yeah.
Right? Essentially.
I want to see the Tatooine version of Jazz so badly.
So, but for me, my final one is I'm gonna go a clone musical.
Okay.
Everyone has the same vocal range, but it would have a really rich fullness.
Except for the Bad Batch, they were bred to be like different voice parts.
Boom.
Yeah, and they just sing about being clones and like life in the war and what are they gonna do when it's finished. And I don't know. I just think it would be hilarious. I'm like in my head, I'm hearing "Make a Man Out of You" from Mulan, but they're all clones. That's. Let's get
After
down
every battle,
to
they're just
Christoph Sis. To defeat the Clankers. Yeah, I think it.
Roger.
Brooks says, for a game, it's like a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but with the Star Wars planets, and which I would like to see. Also, there could be like a sports titles as well. I think would be really interesting. In Star Wars with weird like 0G sports and weird creatures and stuff.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no! I mean, you sure? I just have this really cool idea about like what skateboarding could be in Star Wars, and it's just these like just like ghost ships that like the graveyard of ships like that sometimes surround planets that got blown up, but it's called like magna boarding, and like pro people like they put on their suits and whatever, and they magna board like the wreckage of those ships. I don't know. I just got.
No, it would be cool.
I think we got a franchise.
No. What would be cool is if they did like a downhill jam, like Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam, but they did it on Coruscant in that big hole, and they, they jump down. And they have to like dodge everything. That'd be cool.
Oh, we're talking like the big hole that Ahsoka goes down to at the beginning of that last season. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they go down that big hole, and they got to dodge everything. But like honestly.
All right. Well, okay. So let's go around and like which is your guys' favorite? Which one of these are you watching? What do you guys think?
Man, mine sucked.
I'll watch all of them. I liked everybody's. Like if you're giving me a choice to like, do I only get one chance to watch? Like I'm gonna watch everybody's.
Well, yeah. I mean, more Star Wars. Sign me up, of course.
Yeah. What, do I have work? Do I have work the next day? Why can't I stay up to watch everybody's?
Unfortunately, I can't stay up like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna DVR it. I'll watch it on my own leisure.
You guys are all on the Pacific Coast, aren't you? All you guys.
I am.
No, I'm West Coast. I'm in PA or East Coast. Jesus Christ.
All right. Yeah.
Jared had his map upside down. He's like, I'm on the West Coast. I mean, nope. Yeah. East Coast. Never mind.
No. I have to wait till 3 a.m. for stuff to drop.
Yeah.
And the worst part is on Fridays I have a class at 8, so I'm like, I gotta stay up for WandaVision.
Go to sleep during the day and just wake up during the night and just pull an all-nighter.
Oh, you see, there's the thing.
Just wreck yourself.
Homework, sir.
Oh,
I have a lab to do tonight, and it's already 9 o'clock here.
Yeah. So I mean, I will say overall,
But
though,
you know what? I'm enjoying it.
overall, I'm still reeling for the Lando Bachelor thing. That's what I'm gonna need to see.
Dude, that was definitely the best one.
Oh man, can you imagine that? I mean, that could also just be an SNL sketch.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Like, we could do, like, SNL sketches, like, what was it? The Kylo Ren bit, the undercover boss.
Yeah.
But they have, like, a show that's actually like that, where they actually have, like construction workers on the Death Star just talking about stuff. Like, kind of like The Office, but, like what Jared said earlier.
Oh, my favorite show got canceled. Oh, yeah. It's the one that takes place on the Death Star 1. Ah. It blows up. You're like, oh, well, all right. I wonder if they'll bring it back. I wonder if they'll reboot the series. Oh, okay. Death Star 2 comes around. We could see these construction workers again.
Yeah, no, I kind of regret, though, making my first one a joke. Because the second one I had to make up off the top of my head.
What were we gonna say, Jared?
Oh, nothing. I was just listening to everybody. Me personally, I'm too greedy. I've been saying for years I want a Star Wars fighting game like beyond Masters of Terraskaze, and it's just like not a bonus mode in other games. I'm gonna be greedy and pick my own over anything, just because like that is my dream Star Wars project to come out. Like that drops, y'all won't hear a thing from me for a long time.
Awesome. I love it. Well, let's we'll go ahead and wrap with that, and we'll go around and kind of go. So if you guys have any closing thoughts on any of the topics, on any of our pitches, or on podcasting in general, thank you guys for coming on. But yeah, any closing thoughts? We'll go to Ben first.
Yeah, for my closing thoughts, I would say for if you guys are really looking into starting a podcast, definitely plan 3-4 weeks ahead, if not longer than that, because it is very important to have a schedule, and I'm sure everybody in this chat is agreeing with me. I kind of see it in your faces. So
I should.
Right. No, I'm bad about it too, and it's very important, because that's another thing to keep yourself being pushed out. You guys, because if you have a steady, like Jocko here, he does this every Wednesday, right? Yeah. And that's and people have that set. Everybody who is in this chat, most of you guys are like, oh, it's Wednesday. We know it's time. It's time for High Ground, and oh, it's Friday. It's time for whatever Marvel Studios is dropping on us this week, so so you guys got to make sure you just keep a good schedule, and it will help you guys, and I wish the best for all of your guys' podcasts.
I love it.
Very sweet.
Thank you.
And how about you, Jared?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, same thing that Ben said. Planning is very crucial to the whole thing. I know, with our stuff, we mostly do news on nights. We try to do topic episodes when we can, but like, if you're covering news, if there's one thing you need to remember, it is that the news cycle is always developing. Anything can happen at any time, and there's stuff you just can't plan for. A funny story relating to that is I remember back when we were with the old podcast network, we were doing our comic book show. We were talking about the obscenely good box office returns for Spider-Man: Far From Home, and at one point, halfway through that news story, we both agreed very loudly, very confidently, Sony would never be insane enough to ever, 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 ever pull out of that deal, and not 12 hours later.
Yeah.
It happened. And I was on the phone with Travis. I was like, we need to record now. We need to get something attached to this episode before it drops and we look dumb. So,
yep. That happened to me.
Yeah. There's some things that are unpredictable, but the best thing you can do is try your best to plan for what you can't predict.
Yeah.
Very true. I mean, I mean, it's to a lesser extent. I just made a TikTok about where to find 2003 Clone Wars, and then 2 hours later, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's coming to Disney Plus on April 2nd." Come on, man.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good
Yeah.
to know. I can't wait to watch it. I've never seen it.
All right, and how about you? How about you, Dimitri?
What exactly was the question?
Oh,
I'm just vibing.
Just closing thoughts. Just closing thoughts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's about podcasting, like podcasting, live streaming, you got to find something that works for you, something that you're passionate about, right? If anyone wants to pick my brain about specific things, I'm not an expert. I'm still learning about everything. Like I don't but maybe I can find out more things when people ask me questions. You hit me up at TheKeegShow. But like, I think keeping things simple enough that it's manageable. What did you say, Brandon, earlier? Like sometimes you need to get it done, but not
Done
was
is
it?
better than perfect.
done is better than perfect. Yeah,
Amen.
because like I'm a perfectionist and like, but my stuff isn't perfect. And sometimes it's just like you gotta get it above a threshold, and you're like, okay, I feel comfortable pushing that out there, and you'll get better in time. But I also think like making friends, whether in real life, whether in like on TikTok, whatnot. Like making friends is good because then you can also pick brains with people at the very least, and at the best, you get people on your show, and you can do that. Like I hit up Ben the other day and I'm like, how do you deal with trolls? You know what I mean? Like it's something that like, I'm like, oh, how do I deal with it? I don't know. Let me pick Ben's brain,
Did my advice by chance? Just out of curiosity.
I showed up to their house and I knocked on their door just like you said. And I said, hey, Ben Schubert says he's going to fight you if you keep doing this. And they're like, oh, give me his @. And
Brandon, I did not tell him that. I'm so proud of you. Okay, no.
No, I love it because it's absolutely true. I mean, I think all of us have kind of said it here that we've all been able to kind of build up these networks, right? Jared, I know you have some people that you are always going to and always talking with. Plus, just creating content on the app has introduced me to all of these people. When I started, I was looking up to Element 7 because his content is so good, and like I'm recording my TikToks. They look like crap, but I feel like the information's good, and then mine have slowly gotten better over time. And then not to be outdone, he starts raising his production quality. But someday
Gotta stay on top, man.
someday we'll have a setup like Jared's there, which is just awesome.
That is an awesome setup.
Listen, this is what happens when you just bumble your way in and having friends who are good at things, and that you just pretend to be good at talking. Like that's my secret, Cap. I'm always incompetent.
You know what's not incompetent, Jared, is your whole setup right there. Like I've been looking at this the whole time, and like I wish that was mine. That's all I'm saying.
Here's what you don't want. Here's what you don't want. What you don't want is this thing. All right, this is Cookie Cop.
Okay.
This is Cookie Cop. This is a cookie jar shaped like a cop. Okay.
Okay.
Cookie Cop, in some deep lore, we're like 99% sure is haunted.
Yeah,
I'm not
like
even joking.
Slappy. He looks like Slappy from Goosebumps.
All right, so we're home like these. So Cookie Cop. So this is what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to talk when you open him, right?
Yeah.
But it's busted. There's a little latch in there. It's busted. So you got to like push the little thing, and when you open them,
stop. Move away from the cookie jar.
All right. So that's what he's supposed to do, right? Yeah. Back in the day, old network, when we were recording our comic book show, this thing had not worked in 6 years. I kid you not. Right hand up to God. Like right now, this thing did not work for at least 6 years. Started talking and a lot in the middle of a show.
Stay away from the cookie jar.
Went off again. Hadn't worked in like 6 years. Went off like 4 times.
Oh man.
Not being touched. We keep him around because we're afraid to get rid of it.
I want that to be in my Star Wars horror movie.
Yeah, it's the Star Wars
Yeah.
horror movie is just their studio, and they keep trying to throw away and destroy Cookie Cop, and he's there every morning.
No, he's the Sith. He's the Sith ghost.
Yeah.
He's just like come up. He's like, "Don't eat the cookies. Don't eat the cookies."
But on that note, we will go ahead and we'll go ahead and end. And if you guys don't mind sticking around for a moment, I would love to get your first thoughts for Falcon Winter Soldier, and slash or Snyder Cut, and I'll just make that a separate little short if that's cool with you guys.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna lecture us, everybody. Your behavior was
Stay.
terrible.
Mr. Schubert, can you please stick after class?
Yeah, right. Young man.
But all right, I mean, thank you guys again for coming on to the show. It was a blast. I always love talking to fellow Star Wars fans and geeking out. I'm gonna be putting all of these guys' socials here below so that you can find their stuff and watch it, and it's going to be awesome. But thank you guys for coming on, and may the Force be with you always.